We were just hitting the Zexio, and the one thing I noticed is it took you like 5 or 6 swings to finally hit one good.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that most players don't really understand is that every head has a different weight to it, right? That's going to affect swing weight. And how you respond to weight can be very different. So what I was curious is, we put the Forge Tech on, you literally couldn't miss.
Yes.
Something was like magical about that.
Yeah.
Weight,
I agree.
everything. We put the Zexio on, it was 1 out of 5.
Yeah, I like to joke it takes 3 swings to figure it out. But then there's those 1 or 2 clubs that just you slide in the bag.
Sure.
And I think those watching at home, it's that what I like to call the pre-honeymoon phase, the pre-oh my God phase. That's
Right.
the big moment that you say, these are unbelievable clubs.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you have an idea.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go actually measure the swing weight of this golf club that kind of took a little while for us to actually find a good one.
Yeah.
And then let's test a few,
Okay.
see the weights
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
heads a little bit.
Again, we're walking through Club Champion, which is currently working. We have fittings going on. I don't know if anyone's in the putter studio right now. Nope, no one's in the putter studio.
No one's in the putter,
Looks
yeah.
like you guys are building some product back there as well.
So the Zexio head that we had, is swing weight wise, was almost close to D4. It was D3.7. What I was curious is this heavier or lighter than the Cobra? Because I asked you, how does this feel weight wise? Does it feel any different? And could it be maybe the head design? Could it be how the club's interacting through the turf, right? Or is it a weight? Is that causing you, too heavy of a swing weight, too light of a swing weight?
So I'm going to ask you a question while you solidify this. You already have the number out. D7.
So you are 3 swing weight points heavier in this model.
Interesting.
And it was like that. And just so the viewers know, every swing weight is going to be 2 grams here. Mm-hmm. So could be.
Yeah, that was what my question was going to be, because I don't think anyone's asked it, but I know it's a conversation when you come in and you experience how simple these connecting devices are.
Right.
You have an element that goes into the head at the tip. And then you have the connecting piece, which is extremely easy for you guys to use. Universal overall. How much does that, number one, alter the weight, and 2, alter the swing weight of the club?
So obviously heads have different weights in them, right? So you take a look at a company like Titleist where they have 5 different head weights for, let's say, a T100 iron. It's quite a bit.
Yeah.
So a lot of the demo heads that we use are lighter, so that obviously this is going to add a little bit of weight, but it's pretty standard for each individual company. It's always easy to add weight. We can obviously put lead tape on the hosel and experiment with weight, how that player is going to react to it. So a lot of the heads that we have on the wall are already lighter. So in fact, most of the product that we have on the wall is standard to light, and we have the ability to add weight. Very difficult to take weight off. So we just tested 3 different heads here, and this was by far the lightest one. The Epic
So
Forge
we've
was
got
about,
Epic Forged.
about D1.
D1.
So this was at what, D7, D4, and D0, and regardless of the head design, there was something about that Cobra Forge Tech that was just, couldn't put it down.
If this were a fitting, if I did come
Yep.
into you and say, Brad, give me the goods, let's spend some time together.
Yep.
You've seen me hit 10, 12 sets of irons.
Sure.
You never bugged me on the shaft, which I thought was interesting. So
Well,
I
we were
kind
just,
of-
first off, we were
yeah.
just joshing
Yeah,
around, and I think I did say that. The very first thing we're going to do is, we're going to find a head that you like to look at,
Yeah.
and we're going to run you through a shaft test. We're going to test 3 to 4 different shafts. Now, the 2 numbers I'm really looking at for shaft, I'm looking at ball speed and smash factor. And
It's all that timing into the ball.
Yep, I'm trying to maximize our energy and really help the centerness of hit. Once I find that shaft, and we've already kind of done that, we've tested some different shafts today. Tour V has kind of been the gamer for you for quite a while, and it does still work, and it performs very well. Then this is that second part, where the fun part, you get to try all the different brands. You get to try everything from TaylorMade, Callaway, Cobra, Ping, you name it. But also looking at some of the things you're looking for. A big part of me in head design, is turf interaction, offset. How does it look? How does it feel? How does it sound?
Yeah. So, so once again, we're at Club Champion. For those of you who are coming in a little bit late, feel free to go through. That's fine. We are at Club Champion headquarters. Yeah. Once again, we are in a fully operational location. Club Champion has provided us with accessibility to this place, which is fantastic. Again, Brad, thank you. Again, this is for those who are coming in a bit late. And I'd like to once again ask if you like range days, if you like the ideas that we're bringing out, and the content we have, please feel free to subscribe to THP TV on YouTube. Like the video as well. And I know Brad's a fan. He's a huge proponent considering how often his face shows up on there. And finally, once again, comment. Give us your thoughts on Club Champion. Give us your thoughts on fitting. Or in the THP thread. We'll have a conversation going on in the community. So I'll leave it to you guys or Brad.
Yep.
Since I've kind of done what I wanted to do is
Sure.
just spend all my time hearing about my chicken wing. Do you want to go mess around a bit more over there? Do you guys want to see something a little bit different? What can we do to entertain you guys for the rest of this live stream?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you
Well, I mean,
think,
I
Brad?
think we know you really like this head.
Yeah.
And we've tried a lot of different heads. We're going to do a little backwards than the Club Champion way of
Okay.
finding the shaft first and then focusing on head. We kind of found out what head. Let's say you're that picky customer and wanted to try 32 different flavors. That's fine.
We don't have to say let's say because that is the reality. That is my head for 2020.
But this is your head for 2020.
Yeah.
So let me run you through a shaft test. Let's test some different shafts and kind of walk you through the process of me as a fitter and how my kind of brain's working
Yeah.
a little bit. Why do I go this way versus that way?
Okay.
Why would I choose this weight of a shaft or this stiffness of the shaft or this profile
Sure.
based on what your tendencies are? So,
Okay.
we know what this guy does. This is Tour V.
which has been my gamer for a number of years.
Right. So let's test out some different flavors. Let's talk about what you experience, and any of the anecdotal things you can give me are great, right?
Okay.
Like
Brad, can
how
you
a chef
mention,
feels.
Since you're doing this,
Yeah.
we get this question a lot about the shaft all of a sudden changing launch angle and
Yep.
spin, and we were talking about before we went on the air.
Yep.
Can you kind of explain the misnomers and the real deal about what that is? That it might help
Yeah.
you find a center, it might tweak things here and there, but you're not going to see 7 degrees of launch difference.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest way. I mean, Dan, if you were hitting it low with an 8-degree driver, wouldn't you probably go, let's get the 9.5, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably. I would say most certainly.
Yeah.
Be like, it's not enough loft, right?
Yeah.
Now, I could put you in the highest launching shaft there is, and nothing's going to be instant like changing the loft, right?
So again, the question, I don't know if you guys were able to hear it, it represents how much of an impact a shaft can have and how dramatic that change can be to a head. So
Yeah.
feel
So,
free to continue.
and I think that for the shaft, we all know that if the shaft fits you well, you're going to strike it better, and you're going to get better numbers that way.
Mm-hmm.
But then we're also really, what we focus on is, what is the shaft, right? What's the profile of the shaft? What's the weight of the shaft? If you divvy it up in 3 parts between the butt, the mid, and the tip, why would this shaft work for you versus the next guy?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something any expert fitter is going to look at, right? Does a shaft that's a little softer in the butt or stiffer in the butt, what is that gonna do? How are you gonna react to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say 80% of the time, I know how you're gonna react to a shaft, whether it's softer than you play or stiffer than you play, and if that's gonna be good or bad for us.
Right.
Now, the reason why we do this is because you could prove me wrong. You might be that
Well,
20% of the guy.
That's the beauty of and the importance of getting fit because
Right.
you can go to any manufacturer will have a concept of what their product will do and how it performs. But
Sure.
as we all golfers have different styles of swings, we have a very likely potential to swing one shaft differently and provide different outputs than someone else.
So immediately, you're playing a shaft that's about 110 grams, right?
Yes.
If there's any difference in ball flight you'd like to see, you said you want to bring it down just a smidge.
Probably a bit, yeah.
Yeah. So we know with shafts, if I went heavier in weight or stiffer, that could help, right?
Yeah.
So that's immediately where I'm going.
Okay.
Is if we go a little heavier, a little stiffer in the tip, how are you going to react to it? Is that going to give us what we're looking for?
Why don't we go do that?
Let's do it.
You guys want to come?
Let's do it.
No, you stay here. This is no. Come on, it's fine. It's fine. So
So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab 3 or 4 shafts, and I'm going to kind of hang by the computer and really kind of work with you a little bit and try to see if I can bring some things down a little bit for us.
you're looking at a second wall of iron shafts for what it's worth. If you didn't think like the one side was enough, you have tons of products here on the wall. Again, these are all irons that can be tested here at Club Champion.
Even lefties.
What's interesting, Brad, is your perspective on reducing launch and potentially spin is not my experience. So I'm really going to enjoy this.
Right,
part.
right. So just to get a kind of couple baseline numbers here, I'm going to put the Tour V back in
Okay.
into the Cobra. We're not going to change the head at all. The head's going to be used the same exact head this entire time.
Okay.
And then we're going to cycle through 3 or 4 shafts, and I'm going to kind of talk to you a little bit about what we're looking at
Just give us a second, guys. The camera's wobbling a little bit. That has everything to do that we're just trying to set it up to keep it level for the rest of the video. So again, we have the head in play right now, King Forge Tech, the head for Canadan, or Dan, depending on how you know me, and Tour V is in play.
It's Canadan, it's not Canadian?
Canadian? It's a common misconception because when you type in Canadan, it alters, like autocorrects to Canadian.
All right, fire and ready. Let's get 4 or 5 shots here with this shaft and the Forge Tech head. So a couple numbers that I'm really, like I said earlier, I'm going to look at our ball speed and smash factor for you.
That was not worth anything.
Fair enough. We'll buy a mulligan.
Yeah, there we go. I get my mulligans today because tomorrow with range days, we don't get them.
Very nice. Yeah. Good. But, ball speed on that one, you hit that pretty well, 134. Smash is 142, carried that 193. That land angle is pretty much where we've seen it, about 50 degrees.
Okay.
Again, ball speed 134, smash 141.
Yeah, that felt great.
Yeah, it was really nice. Okay, so let's change out something here. So where I'm thinking already, and I said earlier, is I want to see how you react to something shaft-wise, a little bit heavier, maybe a little stiffer in the tip section. In generally speaking, in a fitting, I'm not going to tell you these things because I don't know how you're going to react to it, right? It's one of these, hey, let's hit it 4 or 5 times, give me some feedback, and then let's see where if there's a Y in the road, which way am I going next? Am I going to stay to this weight? Am I going to go lighter?
Yeah, and while I hit this, Brad, I know that it is a strategy of fitters to hide the change because we as golfers have a tendency to alter our swing based on what we have in our hands. Would you like to expand on how important that is as a fitter to make sure that the golfer's bringing their swing to the table and not the swing they think they need?
Well, I call it playing TrackMan or playing the numbers.
Okay.
Sometimes it's hard to hide it when I give you a purple shaft or a blue shaft and you kind of have these preconceived notions on what the guy does. But
Complete and utter nonsense.
yeah,
JB says it's nonsense.
Okay.
Kind of hung that one out to the right.
Sounded great. You hit that pretty good, didn't you?
Yeah, I hit that one good.
So ball speed was down, 132. Landing angle was a little flatter. Carry went up a little bit.
I'm going to look at it. I'm doing what you should never do. So
That's okay.
What's interesting, Brad, is we went from Tour V stiff.
Yep.
And I wasn't really looking because I already knew what the shaft was thanks to these awesome little
Yeah, the loading
elements
zone in
to go
there,
there.
yeah.
So it's loading zone, it's Project X. Okay, yeah. So I knew immediately what shaft it was, but what I was curious about was not the weight, but the flex.
Sure.
Because it you felt some stability. And the cool thing about loading zone is there's a lot to load, so it's not that bad. But I wonder, and maybe provide me some feedback on this, how much of those changes like landing angle, height, spin, come from that stiff to X
So
profile?
I'm not exactly, like I said, I'm not really looking so much on left and right and what the ball's doing. It's kind of bonus numbers, if you will. But I'm really looking at that ball speed and smash to see if I want the shaft that's really delivering the most energy into that golf ball. And what we can see here with this shaft is, the ball speed's down a little bit. It's definitely, if we look in an early glimpse, you're almost a degree and a half slower or a mile and a half slower ball speed with this shaft, and the club head speed's almost exactly the same.
Huh.
So it's a little bit slower, so it's not really necessarily translating crazy more energy into the golf ball than our Tour V.
Landing angle height's remarkably the same.
Yeah, very, very similar there so far over a handful of shots here so far. Now, overall, how's the weight of that? I mean, obviously it's heavier than what you've been using. Can you sense that? Can you feel it?
It's not, I think the issue I typically have is if a combination of weight and flex are too much or feel too robust, I start to really attack the ground. And that's where I've struggled in the past. And it could have something to do with Tour V being in the bag for so long.
Sure.
You gotta get acclimated to that typical profile,
Yeah.
the way it kicks into the ball. So in that case, because it's loading zone, because it does have that nice loading characteristic, it might, I think it might help a bit there.
Yeah.
me.
So one thing we notice is, and again, 80% roll, not for everybody, but if you do get something that's too heavy in the shaft, or maybe too stiff in the hands, that player is going to tend to want to pull more. They're going to want to pull more. They could be swinging more down, like you said. And is that exactly what that player's looking to accomplish, right? So, by going heavier and maybe a little stiffer in the handle, is that a good thing or a bad thing for us, right? So that's kind of how, if you told me that's how you're reacting to it or you feel like that's happening, I would say what I thought it would do is kind of how you're reacting to it the way you should, right?
Okay, yep.
You're not throwing at me any curveballs. I'm not seeing crazy ball speed. I wouldn't say it's any better yet.
Okay.
So let's try something a little different.
Yeah. And again, guys, one of the great things about doing this right now is with range days tomorrow and the fact that we're running through so many different iron shafts, I'll be spending all that time with the same shaft specifically, making sure it's the best fit for me so that when we do run through these varying types of product, there's not going to be a huge variable there between what head-to-head I think might work. We're going to run straight line through. And we're going to do that through every video. So all the product is going to come from the exact same shaft. So we have an absolute neutral baseline for you guys.
So obviously a little different color look here.
Yeah, I wish you'd paint these, Brad, so
You
I didn't know
maybe,
exactly what they are.
I've tried to disguise them a little bit.
So we got steel fiber in. I don't know what is in it or on it,
Okay.
but it is steel fiber.
Perfect timing for a question with this while you're doing it. At
Right.
what point of fitting do you usually take into account graphite versus steel?
100%. Well, we all know this. There's somebody on tour I know that's playing 14 graphite shafts in his clubs. And graphite certainly is it's here. It's not coming, it's here, right? So we see, every driver fairway, on tour is going to have graphite. Those are some things we're going to talk about, the ability to change profiles of the golf club with graphite right there. Instantly after two shots. What?
Without changing weight.
Without necessarily changing weight here. We, in this case, I will tell him that we went back to his kind of normal weight here in the steel fiber 115. So it's kind of a little bit more what he's used to, a little bit lighter. Ball speed's been pretty good. That spins a little less on that last one.
I think that one is actually a bad read.
Yeah, that one was a little, but
Pretty sure it looks pretty good from here.
I mean, well, yeah, it was like normal,
Yeah.
normal, then 214 carry with.
well, I'll say
230
this
roll.
right off the get-go. We're definitely seeing some faster ball speeds after, only two shots. So
This does have a nice connection with the head. I really like that.
now the reason why, I chose this shaft is I wanted to bring them back down in weight. Maybe we went a little too heavy in the beginning, but, steel fiber, if we talk about a lot of the different, graphite composite steel shafts out there, this definitely is going to have a tighter feel. Even though he's got a little chicken wing, he does move
God.
it. He's 95, 96. He's moving it.
I'm retired from THP TV if my foreman changes to chicken wing.
Little chicken wing.
You heard it here.
A little wingy.
Little wing.
Although, I'm still waiting for that forum name of Clucks Unfiltered. So we have 115
One feel, yeah, constant weight steel fiber,
constant
yep.
weight.
And, Dan, I know we talked a little bit earlier about, you kind of commenting like steel fiber has never been really a fan favorite of yours.
No,
But what do maybe you haven't tested this one. Maybe you haven't tested.
I've not tried the constant weight. No, this feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Feels really comfortable. I can hear good quality contacts, and timing seems right for me from a
Excellent.
shaft perspective.
From a ball speed perspective, you're almost a mile and a half, 1.5 miles an hour faster with that.
Okay.
So that's really good.
Yeah, and it's funny.
It's snowing.
It's not.
Freaking snowing outside.
Oh.
It's 80.
Josh, who's from Florida, is now freaking out because there's snow
that's
here in Chicago. When I met him at the airport, he was wearing a jacket, and I said it was the most uncomfortable I've ever been. Made no sense to me for him to be in a jacket.
Dan, can you explain that one of the things we're going to do with range days, they might be picking up this, is you kind of mentioned it earlier, but people came in late. Let's say you take Titleist, for example. They have 10 irons in their lineup. You will be able to hit each one with the same shaft.
Yeah.
You and James can dissect what those clubs are.
So I'm not sure if Josh was able to be picked up, but something that we'd like to continue reiterating with range days is you have companies like Titleist who have a very broad range of irons this year, and it's a very broad range of irons this year. And the great thing about being here and being able to compile data is that we can hit all those irons back to back to back with the exact same shaft. No real variable beyond me standing there and slowly swinging my my winter body away. And that's what range day is going to be about, that neutralized experience where we can take that. And then James and I in our podcast, video and audio podcast, will be driving that to you guys in different segments, likely company through company. So, Brad, you look like you're ready for another one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So far, I mean, if I were to just talk data-wise, that steel fiber is definitely coming off with a lot of speed there.
See what he does with recoil.
We were for a while. So
He hit both of those.
I'll bring
we
it.
have a down soldier that was recoil.
No, I got recoil for you. Yeah, one more. Hit,
Were you going to do the lighter one?
Try that shaft.
We had a little spin job on the recoil, and I was in love.
I think he may hit the graphite better than the steel.
Oh, that went right. So immediately, first swing, that shaft just didn't seem as connected as a steel fiber.
Okay.
Could be a way I just presented the ball. I'm not sure. Had a bit of a chug at the bottom. Although I got that one nice. Well, that ruins everything, doesn't it, Brad? So we were looking at 95.1 mile an hour swing speed, 135.7 ball speed, smash factor of 1.43.
That's ball speed today.
Here's the crazy part. 15.2 launch, just over 5,400 RPMs of spin, 114 height, landing angle just about 50, which is still great, 197 yards of carry.
Very nice.
And the first time I hit this, I go, I don't know about this one.
Let's give it more than one.
That's the most internet golfer thing I'll ever do.
Give
on
it more
video.
than one.
All right. Hero's my guy. Shout out to Hero if you're watching from Nippon. There's two.
Wow.
That's cut. That is cut. Uh-oh.
Can we get wings for dinner?
Uh-oh. Wait, is it still happening? Have you guys ever so those of you in the chat, let me know. Have you ever had an experience where you were negatively impacted by an online video and your swing was altered because of it? This is daily, yeah. I believe, actually, Josh's claim to fame for the first, 5 years of THP was your swing looked an awful lot like a folded lawn chair.
Yeah.
So speaking of chicken wings, I had the best chicken wings about a month and a half ago in Indianapolis at the Ale Emporium. Unreal. Shout out to one of my great customers who brought
Al's Pizza tonight.
Al's
Never
Pizza,
heard of
sure. There's
Yeah.
pizza's
You want to say that
That's-
into the mic, James?
excellent.
Let's hear
Hey,
it.
so Dan,
Oh, Danny boy.
we've kind of gotten better with each shaft I've given you. We started off the LZ, about 132 miles an hour. We went to the steel fiber, 115 constant weights, 134 and a half. And then with the Nippon 1150, we're at 135 now. So we're up a solid 2 miles an hour faster. Now, 2 miles an hour
That's crazy.
on ball speed doesn't sound like a whole lot, but right now you're up about 5-6 yards farther carry.
And this is, guys, this isn't like ultra premium perfect condition Canadan. We've been here for, this is what, maybe swing 100 for me by now?
For a while.
We've been swinging. I think I got my swing up to like 98 or something like that. A little bit more on the GC Quad. I'll actually be able to tell you. I think it was 103 at one point, where James about threw me outside into the snowbank.
Well, the snowbank is large.
Yeah, that one right there.
So make it through one.
So that one right there on GC Quad, 104 miles an hour for club head speed. Or sorry, club speed. 1 point slightly different, yeah, and then 198 carry. Okay. So, Brad.
You just broke his head.
So, Brad, at Club Champion here in Chicago.
He's laughing.
He's smiling ear to ear right now.
So, Dan,
Yes, sir.
last year,
Oh, yeah.
we
So-
did this thing at Range Days.
yeah, get in the video. We want to see Josh, THP Josh.
They probably can't hear me, but we did this thing, and you hit every driver out there, and there was one where you literally, like, we
Yeah.
had to cut it from the video because he turned around and
So-
started laughing.
So here's the
That
difference.
just happened again.
So here's the difference between this year and last year. This year, or last year, it was just basically me swinging, and it would have been some great B-roll, but we were kind of limited on time. This year, we have these unbelievable microphones that are fully connected. I'll be able to be connected in at all times. If there are some clips throughout the hitting that are worthy of being communicated into the videos, we'll put them in there. But yeah, last year I had a laughing moment, and I kind of just had another one. Yeah. Whatever.
Straight stupid.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Oh, geez.
This is going to be not small. All right. 97-ish mile an hour ball speed, or club speed. 138.2 ball speed. 1.43 smash.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, that's good if you're in it.
14.3 launch. 57
you can Jose Batista
100
bat flip it if you want. I mean, that's,
RPMs of
I
spin.
don't know what we need to tell the viewers.
115 feet of heights.
I mean,
199.1
You say
carry.
that he should test each club with that shaft, Brad.
I think this is pretty damn good. Right now, he's up 4.5 miles an hour versus the Tour V that he currently plays.
Yeah.
Smash factor's up to 143. His distance up is a solid 10 yards carry.
He
And
needs that.
his landing angle, I mean, it is going a smidge higher than the rest of them, but, you know, this shaft is delivering the best energy.
It's also
Now,
F4. So
and it is a little softer, but, you know, you're controlling it. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think definitely it's given us the best energy right
Okay.
now. And now, if we're going to fine tune the launch and spin, and you're not open to change heads a little bit, this would be something where next, you know, I would do a loft and lie test with you. I would, you know, potentially be talking about maybe strengthening this a little bit, maybe a degree, just so we can get the flight down just a little bit
They all
more.
want to know what this shaft is.
maybe a degree upright.
So well, and that's doing a loft and lie test with you, but that right there is the recoil prototype 95 F4.
95?
95,
Yeah,
so
it's
we went a little
95.
lighter.
But we knew going into it was going to be good. I did want to say 103 mile an hour swing speed on the Foresight GC Quad, 140 ball speed, and the carry was, I think, like 210. So if you're a fan of big numbers, get 2 very expensive launch monitors and put them in there into your garage or something.
Doing a golfer fashion.
Laura, if you're watching, sure, let's do it.
I'm pretty sure she's not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's not too. So that was my first
For the readers
mediocre
following
swing.
it at home and viewers, since they can hear me now in Brad's mic, there's a strong chance Dan's getting divorced over being because his wife is ill and
My poor wife at home, yeah. So that was, Brad, that wasn't my best strike. I got a little more ground than I wanted there that time. But we're still in that 195
Still very good.
carry range. How am I supposed to hit with those comments? Josh just actually walked away, saying he wanted to throw up watching me hit. Let's go ahead and keep that one for sure. Do you have any other ideas for me, Brad?
No, I don't. I mean, at this point, we tried 4 different shafts, and it really just kept on getting better.
Okay.
At this point, you know, I know what you tend to do when it gets heavier, and it's not exactly gonna go any faster, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, from a shaft feel perspective, was there a shaft that you felt like just jived with you? Like you felt like you struck it nicely, you like the feel of, you responded well to it?
Yeah, and unfortunately that's a wounded duck right now, but the Recoil Proto.
Yeah, the 110.
110.
Yep.
Now, I was actually fortunate to go out to UST last year, hang out with the great people over there, and got fit into that, so it's no surprise that it ended up being a great option. But for me, it's all about timing. I want a club that's going to feel solid all the way through the swing and provide performance to go with it. Tour V promotes that from a steel perspective, but there were a couple of highlights. I was really impressed by Consuate steel fiber, which surprised me, the 115. That Nippon, was it the 1150?
1150. Yep.
Yeah,
That was
that was
probably second best from a data.
Outstanding
Yep.
from a numbers perspective. Yeah.
So, as we start to get to this, I think we should talk about exactly what's going to go on tomorrow. So they've got a better clue because we're kind of winding down here for now.
Yeah, so I'm going to go and sit in an ice bath,
Okay, ice bath.
which will be great. You're not invited,
Okay,
unfortunately.
okay.
But yeah, from tomorrow's perspective, I have a lot of confidence in the shaft selection I'm going to choose, and then we're going to get into the bay nice and early and just start flying through product.
And really dissecting
So-
what's going on and what
Yeah.
each iron head is supposed to do and what we're seeing.
So from range days, for those who are not familiar with it, range days in the past, we take 5 swings. And of those 5 swings, we isolate the good and the bad. James is miking up. We take the 2 best and the 2 worst, and then we talk about them. We talk about, from a performance perspective, what golfers can anticipate. We talk about from a flight, from a feedback, from a technology standpoint. We touched on
The whole
technology
story.
last. The whole
Yeah.
story of the product. We have the opportunity this year to get a ton of data on a lot of irons, and then we'll take that back, and it kind of falls onto the viewers and those who are willing to watch, read, and are interested. Do you want singular videos and podcasts on these irons? Do you want full-on competitions, if you were, within the companies?
And that brings us to the big point.
Yeah.
It's critical for you all especially to comment in the thread. Come back to the thread. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you'd like to see. Stay engaged with it. We're going to be in there all night. And we'll keep an eye on things. So we'll try to steer it the way that you guys want. That's the beauty of range days.
Yes.
And the intention of it is to get everybody what they want to see, what they otherwise might not be able to.
That's right. And once again, please, if you are watching, feel free to subscribe to THP Video, THP TV, comment on the video here or in the forum, and like the video so we can continue to provide this kind of content to you. So one other thing I wanted to say about tomorrow is it might not just be about irons. We have a couple of interesting ideas that we're going to do with Club Champion up here, a couple of videos we'd like to shoot that will provide some solid insight for you guys. But I also kind of want to make James hit some stuff. So we'll have a much better idea as we make our way through tomorrow.
Much broader
But,
spectrum, an
yeah.
idea of exactly
Yeah.
what's going to go on. But seriously, again, if you have any thoughts, if you have anything that you want to see, throw it up there. We're going to be cooking tomorrow. We're going to be busy, so we'll do what we can and have some fun with it for sure. And hopefully you all have fun with it.
Right on.
There you go.